And I want to bring in Chairwoman of the House Republican Conference, Michigan Representative Lisa McClain, for more. Chairwoman, thanks for joining us. You know, House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries is now going on 7 hours speaking on the House floor, sharing stories about the people he says will be impacted by the cuts in this bill. And even some of your Republican colleagues have expressed deep concerns about Medicaid cuts for their constituents. So what's your response to those concerns that millions of people are going to be left without health care coverage because of this bill?
Yeah, what I share with you and everybody else is you got to get the facts, because a lot of people, they let the facts get in the way of a good story, right? But here are the facts, is people in my district, people across America, we want to make sure that Medicaid is there for the most vulnerable, right? The disabled, the pregnant mothers, the elderly. And we know Medicaid isn't exactly on solid ground, so we really need to make sure that when we put $1 into that Medicaid program, that it is going to the most vulnerables. And that's what Republicans have done. They have shored up Medicaid, making sure that the most vulnerable get those benefits that they deserve, and they get them for the future to come, right? We want to make sure we get rid of waste, fraud, and abuse, dual enrollment. We want to make sure that we can get illegals off Medicaid so that it goes to the people who need it most. And we want to make sure that we give able-bodied people the ability to work, to make sure that Medicaid is there for the people who need it most. And that's exactly what we're doing. So unlike the Democrats who have to fearmonger because they have no plan, no vision, and no leader, don't let the facts get in the way of a good story.
So the Congressional Budget Office is estimating 12 million people will lose their health care coverage over the next 9 years because of this bill. So are you saying that those are people who shouldn't be getting these benefits to begin with?
Yeah, what I am saying on that is we are making sure that the most vulnerable get them first. Medicaid was never a program that was intended for able-bodied working adults with no dependents to be on Medicaid for lifelong, right? That all happened under the Obama expansion, right? If we continue on that path, as well as the waste, the fraud, and the abuse, people that are duly enrolled receiving Medicaid benefits, it's not going to be there for the people who need it most. So, yes, we need to make sure that we are shoring up that program 100%, absolutely.
And what about concerns about the deficit? What do you say to conservatives who say the U.S. can't afford this bill?
Well, I say it's the bottom line that counts, provided they know how to count. So there's two sides to that equation, right? There is the spending, which we all know the government has a spending problem. This bill cuts $1 trillion of spending. Do we wish it cut more? Do some people wish it cut more? Yes. But if you go on a diet, you're not going to lose 25 pounds in the first week, but you are going to make progress, right? And that's what $1.6 trillion does, is it is making progress. Now, let's look at the other side of the equation, is you have income, but then you also have expenses. Where the CBO got it wrong is in the growth calculation. And that's a growth calculation that they say is going to be 1.8%. Historically, growth, even in the Biden years, has been 2.2, 2.3%. They have it at 1.8. For every 0.1% of growth that the CBO got it wrong, from 1.8 to 1.9, that is $1.5 trillion in dollars coming in. So there's your savings right there. And we didn't even talk about the tariff revenue that President Trump is receiving as well. So again, I think you got to count both sides.
Representative Ralph Norman signaled that President Trump could use executive power to, in his words, make the bill better. So what changes do you want to see in this bill that couldn't get through the House and Senate versions?
What I want to see is, first and foremost, we got to pass this bill, which I think we're going to do. Then we have appropriations and we have rescissions coming. Then I think we'll take another bite of the apple in reconciliation. There's a lot of work to be done, and there's a lot of work to be done in efficiencies in the federal government. I am hard pressed for anybody to tell me, and I'll debate this with them all day long, that the federal government just runs so efficiently that there's not any more savings that we can do. There are savings we can do. We can make sure that more dollars gets to students, not administrators, for an example. So there's a lot of work to be done, and I'm excited to continue that work as we make progress for the American people.
All right, Chairwoman of the House Republican Conference, Representative Lisa McClain, we appreciate your time today. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too.